and also your moderator for the next session. And thank you to everyone. Thank you for everyone for joining us for this special Heal Talk in conjunction with National Counseling Month. This session is aimed to bring the comfort, understanding, and also a safe space to those of us that dealing with the grief and also loss. We are privileged to have with us Sister Masturah Muhammad Arif, a counselor from the Counseling and Career Services Center Services Unit at IIUM Pago. So, how are you, sister? Walaupun tadi dah tanya, nak tanya lagi.
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Thank you so much, Lily.
Sudah makan?
Sudah. Tapi kalau saya kehausan, saya minum tak apa kan?
Boleh.
Lily sehat ke?
Okay. Alhamdulillah sihat.
Ya,
Masih
berapa?
bertenaga.
Wah,
Saya third year.
ya.
Excited nak dengar ni session ni hari ni.
Okey. Nanti saya tanya Lily tau. Kalau orang lain tak ada soalan, saya tanya Lily. Okey.
Boleh. Nanti Lik pun boleh
Boleh.
bertanya. So, okay.
Okey.
Our topic for tonight is grief and loss. Resah Kerinduan. Wah.
Oh.
Maybe I will say like macam kita punya introduction lah. Macam
Mhm.
something like kita nak cakap pasal losing
Mhm.
someone. Okay,
Mhm.
losing a loved ones or experiencing a significant loss can be one of the most challenging experiences in our life. It
Ya.
brings a sense of longing and sometimes even restlessness, which can be overwhelming. So tonight we will explore this feeling, discuss ways to cope, and offer support to those to navigating this difficult journey.
Mhm.
So without further ado, I would like to hand over the session to our speaker, Sister Masturah Muhammad Arif. Please welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Lily, for the introduction, lovely introduction. I like your voice. Thank you so much. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all the viewers, Jewa, and participants for tonight's session. Thank you so much to my colleagues who invited me to share the knowledge, a little bit of my knowledge with the audience tonight. Hari ini tajuk yang diberikan kepada saya Grief and Loss, Resah Kerinduan. Jadi I think that I can mix lah boleh campur-campur English and Malay sebab kadang-kadang ada benda yang kita cakap tu lebih datang jiwanya bila gunakan bahasa Melayu ataupun lebih datang jiwanya bila kita guna bahasa Inggeris. Anyhow, it's very interesting topic and for me personally, this topic is one of my favorite topic. I love to talk about loss and grief. I love to talk about trauma and also creative interventions because these topics are some of the topics that people choose not to talk about. Macam, people don't want to talk about grief that much. People don't want to address their loss. People do not know how to manage the pain that they feel after the loss. So that's why most often isu-isu berkaitan dengan grief and also loss ni people don't want to. And also for tonight, for my sharing, I would invite you guys in a journey whereby I do hope that this session will be an interactive session because I will try my best to provide a safe platform for every one of you to share any of your loss, any of the grief that you might feel, because tonight is the day where you are allowed to express. Maybe kat luar, before this, you feel like, if I talk about my loss, people will not reciprocate. People will not understand. So tonight is a platform provided by Counseling and Career Services Center, Bombak. They give you this platform to actually express maybe the unattended grief that all of us might feel. Kan? So malam ni adalah peluangnya grab this opportunity to share, insyaAllah. Okay, so just a quick check. Kalau saya boleh start, boleh tak bagi saya some reaction of love ke apa yang ada ni? Dah lama tak guna Zoom kan? Love or any emojis that indicates you guys are ready to embark the journey with me. Share saya sikit. Okay. Love, love, love. Nak tahu juga malam ni audience okay ke tak ni? Ini emoji sah. Ready? Okay. Arina say thank you. Farhana okay. Khadijah okay. Alright. Okay, so bismillah. Let me share. Before I start, let me share you this music. Kita dengar sama-sama. Kita hayati lirik dia. Just to get the words. Siapa tahu ni lagu apa? Boleh type dekat chat box.
Saat ku sendiri, kulihat foto dan
Ada tak?
video
Sambil-sambil tu,
bersamamu
be
yang
with me.
telah
Join me
lama
together
ku
in this journey.
simpan.
Tulis dekat. Lagu apa ni?
Hancur hati
Favorite song
ini
ever. Okay, just write
melihat
any of your
semua gambar
thoughts
diri yang tak
or feedback
bisa
regarding
ku
this song.
ulang kembali.
Ini
Ku ingin saat ini engkau ada
music
di
dia.
sini,
Lagi. Muhammad
tertawa
Syakir dia cakap music dia.
bersamaku seperti
Farhana,
dulu
hi.
lagi.
Lagu favorite.
Walau hanya sebentar,
Lagu Hanya Rindu.
Tuhan tolong
Dah ada
kabulkanlah.
payung.
Bukannya
Feeling
diri
music.
ini tak terima kenyataan, hati ini hanya rindu.
Sikit. Kita bagi masuk mood.
Segala cara telah ku coba agar aku bisa tanpa dirimu.
Sambil kita dengar lagu ni, I want you guys to pick and
Namun
choose any memory that you
semua
have
berbeda,
regarding any type of loss.
sulit
Any type of
ku
loss. Be it
menghapus
the loss of your
kenangan
pet, the loss of your
bersamamu.
best friend, be it the loss of your
Ku
work
ingin saat
or
ini
the loss of someone
engkau
that you love.
ada di sini,
Pick a memory. Pick a memory.
tertawa bersamaku seperti dulu lagi. Walau hanya sebentar,
And listen to the
Tuhan
lyric.
tolong kabulkanlah. Bukan diri ini tak terima kenyataan, hati ini hanya rindu.
Alright. Okay, now I stop. Okay. How's everyone? The memories in 1997 moved to IUM Gombak for MPJ with all the dozen instructions. Yeah, one of the thing. Okay. Because maybe Cik Suhaimi, the memories from IUMPJ is very significant. And then when we have to move from PJ to Gombak, some of the memories still there. The pin still there. Okay. So the song titled Hanya Rindu. Okay, lepas ni boleh Google dekat YouTube. What most interesting part about this song is the lyric. If you listen carefully to the lyric, dekat bahagian chorus tu, Dr. Atia dah share dah. Bukan tak menerima kenyataan, tapi hanya rindu. Similar to us. When we talk about loss and grief, and as a Muslim, we understand the concept of redha, right? So people will say that, redha lah, lepaskan, move on. Okay. Sometimes it's not the case of not being redha or not being acceptance towards the faith. Sometimes it's just the longingness. Sometimes it's just kerinduan itu yang tidak bertepian. Macam tajuk hari ni, Resah Kerinduan. Kenapa rindu itu mendatangkan resah? Sebab rindu itu kepada sesuatu yang kita tahu tak akan ada balik. That's why we feel anxious. That's why kita rasa resah. terhadap kerinduan tersebut. Is that about losing someone that we really love? Yep, one of it. Alright. So hari ni bersama dengan saya, I will share with you the type of grievances, grief, dan macam mana eventually we can manage and deal with our. Nampak ke slide saya? Nampak kan? Gambar zaman muda-muda sikit. Right. So this is our topic, grief and loss. Resah Kerinduan. Alright. So I do believe that when I start my presentation with the song and I ask all the audience and the participants to try to recall and pick and choose any memories that you have regarding any type of loss. Okay? Because I believe every single individual on this earth has experienced a certain extent of loss. Tak ada seorang pun atas dunia ni yang tidak pernah merasakan kehilangan. And it's just not my words, but instead in the Quran also Allah mentioned in the Surah Al-Baqarah verses 155 to 157, Allah mentioned, and we surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and life and fruits. But give good tidings to the patients who, when disaster strikes them, say, indeed we belong to Allah and indeed to Him we will return. Those are the ones upon whom are blessing from their Lord and mercy, and it is those who are the right guided. Meaning to say that every single soul will be tested. Kehilangan harta benda, kelaparan, ketakutan, dan even kehilangan orang yang kita sayang. So I want to start this presentation or sharing with these verses because I want all of us to have this mindset that when we talk about loss, it is something that we cannot avoid. It is something that we anticipate going to happen in our life. However, the missing puzzle is how to live after the loss that we have. Okay? Itu question dia. Contoh, we've been together with someone that we love, ataupun our parents, or even our pets. Okay? We love cats. I love cats. I have 4 cats now. I have 2 adults, right? And I have 2 kittens. So the loss of pets could be something very significant as well. Okay? So let's imagine this. We've been together. We have our parents, and our parents are getting old, and then one day one of our parents pass away. For all of our entire life, like 20 years, or 15 years, or 30 years of our life, the only thing that we know is how to live with them, right? We know how to live with our parents. But after they pass away, nobody told us, nobody give any manuals to us how to live without. So what happened to us is that we are trying to navigate our life with our own understanding, with our own way. It's just try and error. Well, this is how we're going to do this. This is how, if previously I have stress, like I feel sad, I talk to my father or I talk to my mom. But now, they're no longer here. So how to live? Kepada siapa untuk kita cerita? Pada siapa untuk kita luahkan kesedihan kita? That is something that people don't have. What we usually hear from others is just, you're a big girl. Just continue your life. Terima, redha. But for those who experience the loss and in the state of grief, we do not know how to. We do not know how to even like macam, okay, usually our mom will prepare breakfast for us. And the next thing we know, no one prepare breakfast for us. It's a routine that is no longer there. And also when we talk about loss and grief, it is something about change. We talk about change. Daripada ada kepada tiada. Rutin tu ada kepada tiada. So, when we talk about change, the most difficult part as a human being is to embrace changes. Itu standard. Kalau katalah assignment student, kat sini majority student ke staff? Okay. If like students, your lecturer give you an assignment, okay, this is this assignment for this semester, you should submit this. By week 3, by week 5, okay, so be prepared. Tu tak lilit, kan? Lecturer awak dah bagi dah senarai assessment dan submission.
Dah bagi dah.
Dah bagi.
Saya ni banyak juga kita punya credit hour.
Berapa tu?
Saya 19.5.
Oh, okay. All the best. Alright. Okay, so now, bayangkan one of your lecturer, after give you all the timeline, or this is new, and suddenly your lecturer mentioned in the class, okay, I want the submission for assessment 2 to be submitted tomorrow. Instead of week 6, I want it to be submitted tomorrow. What will happen to you, Lily?
Terkejut.
Okay. Yang audience lain, dan mana yang student boleh jawab dekat chat box. How would you respond? Sepatutnya assignment tu week 6. But then your lecturer asks you to submit the assignment tomorrow. So you will feel shocked, you will feel at loss, you will feel angry, you will feel like this is not fair. Like you mentioned that it's supposed to be submitted on week 6, but why you ask tomorrow? This is just week 2, madam. Only week 2. That's almost similar to our response towards loss. Because again, loss and grief is about changes. Right. Okay ke semua? Boleh No. Sambil-sambil tu saya baca chat. Rasa nak marah sebab tak adil. Sama lah kan? Kita rasa kita ada masa selama-lamanya dengan parents kita. Tapi, one day, Tuhan ambil parents kita daripada kita. It's not fair. I thought I have more time. I thought that, no, this is not supposed to happen. Rasa marah. Rasa tak adil. It's not fair. I haven't graduated yet. I haven't married yet, for example. I haven't proved myself worthy of the sacrifices that my parents gave to me. So there's a lot of anger, unfair feelings. And then from Irina Vina, I lost my dad a year ago, and I still cannot accept. People always say that I need to move on, but I can't. Inshallah, malam ni, we'll try to move forward together, whatever memories and pain that we have. Okay? So, whoever has any sharing, please write in the comment box, or if you want to express it verbally, just raise your hand and then I'll address your name so that you can unmute your microphone and then express and share your story. Okay? Now, alright. So we move to the symptom of grief first. Okay? We move to the symptom of grief because I do believe that majority of us will have this kind of symptoms because usually it will be overlapping with other type of symptoms. Okay, it is so normal. The symptoms are so normal that most of us will overlook of the symptoms. Dia tak perasan. It's so normal. Number one, usually when you're dealing with loss, when you feel that grief tu adalah keribaan, tempong untuk kita kalau in certain culture kita berkabung, right? First, you feel the tightness in the chest. Hati tu rasa macam, nak pecah. And also the heart palpitations, high palpitation. Okay, this is related to the feeling of anxiety, anxious towards the loss, anxious nak hidup macam mana. Keresahan tadi tu, right? And bear in mind that people speak about broken heart with a reason. The term broken heart tu is legit sebab there's one study conducted by medical in a medical science when they observe the heart from people who experience loss. They found a they found like a difference between the individual who experienced loss greatly and the person who not experienced loss. The heart is different. So that's why the term broken heart tu bukan main-main. Okay. And then what will happen next? You become more sensitive to loss. Because sometimes you feel irritated. You're just dealing with something very heavy in your life, and then suddenly the people around you start to talk, lepas tu dengar loud music, even sometimes it's not that loud, but because you are not in the good state of mind, you're not in the situation where you can compose yourself, so you become more sensitive to it. And then you lack of energy. Tak pergi kelas pun tak ada rasa semangat. There's no motivation to go to work. You feel like there's no purpose of moving on. Okay. And then these are some of the physical symptoms lah. Dry mouth, okay. Lepas ni balik boleh check saya ada dry mouth tak, kering tak. Okay. And also, you will have the tendency to feel loneliness. Higher risk of having loneliness because you just lost someone or something that you love. Kenapa saya kerap menggunakan perkataan someone or something? Because later I will share with you the type of grief. Because when we talk about loss, it's not necessarily the loss of individual. Itu kita kena set in our mind. It's not necessarily loss. Okay. And then anxiety. I have cases where this person lost the family member one after another, in a short period of time. After 1 or 2 months, this person lost another family member. So one of the effects that this person has is the anxiety. What if another month someone else passes away? So, okay, so this might happen to us and it might happen to the person near to us, okay, the anxiety. And then you will feel the sense of abandonment, especially if, like, say, you lost the person who is very significant in your life, very significant, and you rely on to this person so greatly. And then when suddenly you lost this person, not necessarily due to death, it can also be, tadi I cakap, the loss of your BFF, the loss of your partner, separation, okay, divorce. This could also give you the sense of abandonment because you are so used to depend on this person, and then suddenly the routine change again from daripada ada kepada tiada. So you will have that sense of abandonment. And also the sense of yearning, keinginan, nak dia, nak pegang dia, nak jumpa dia, nak tengok dia. Kalau ada satu lagi peluang, kalau ada satu, this is yearning. Next, next, why? Is my slide moving? No.
Masih di symptoms of grief. Okay dah.
Dia lagu background keluar pula. Tak apalah boleh ke? Nah, kita nak cakap pasal benda-benda heavy ni kadang-kadang ada ujian dia. Bersabar dengan saya. Okay. Okay. Symptom grief yang ni, side saya dah bergerak. Supposedly you guys can see inability to concentrate and impact at work. Is that the slide that you guys see?
Yes.
Yes, slow je suara dia. Okay. Now, next. So we move to another side of the symptom, which is your behavior and also your cognitive. The cognitive one, the inability to concentrate and also impact work. Be it study, your work, because why? When you experience sudden change due to the loss. Macam tadilah, example yang saya tanya tu. When your lecturer suddenly asks you to submit the assignment that is supposed to be submitted on week 6, but you have to submit week 2, you will go haywire. How to do this? I only have like less than 24 hours to settle. You know? So it will affect your ability to concentrate on your task at the moment. What more if you have more urgent matters at that time, but you cannot deliver the urgent matters because of this change that you experience? Ada situation whereby we have to attend a very serious or important job, right? And then we receive a call. Kak Long, Abang Long, Abang Ngah, balik rumah sekarang. Cepat-cepat kemas, balik. Why? Because, then you get the news, right? So your job or your work at that moment, you have to let it go. You have to choose the more priority one. But it will affect your concentration. So not only this, if the grief is not being treated or not being managed well, it will also prolong the inability to concentrate. Sometimes you will find yourself like daydreaming. You will find yourself like, procrastinating. Procrastinating ni ada banyak reason. And one of the reason is because you're unable to concentrate due to unattended grief. Because we think that we are okay. So we go to class, we go to work, we try to act as normal. But at the back of our mind, we are still processing. What is this? What is strange emotions that, keep on budging me, keep on tak boleh. I tak boleh biarkan you sorang-sorang, that emotion. So I cannot leave you alone. I just want to make you cry. But as a person, logically, you do not know how to process. Thus, my way of coping is to work more. So I work extra hours. I study even so that I can avoid myself from crying. I can avoid myself from thinking about the loss. It's more avoidance. And then next, often crying but avoid to talk about the loss. You find yourself crying in the middle of the night. Sometimes kita cari reason to cry. Buka lah K-drama. Because we have to, have that strong face kan among our friends, our roommates. We don't want our roommate to see us crying. So we suppress. Okay, until the time has come, I open my laptop and I watch K-drama purposely to cry. So that when my friends say, oh, dia nangis sebab tengok K-drama. Or sometimes we found ourselves crying in the toilet while taking showers and nangis. Sebab tak nak bagi orang nampak. Okay. But then when people approach you to ask you how you navigate your life after the loss, you don't want to talk about it. You will dismiss the subject. You will just, apa, okay je. This is also one of the symptoms. Next is this depersonalization and change relationship. When you experience loss of someone or something significant in your life, you will have this type of detachment to the reality. Okay, if let's say we talk about marriage, we talk about partnership. Okay, you are so used to associate yourself with this person, right? And then when you're no longer with this person due to death or due to separation, you will have the tendency to depersonalize it. No, you will talk in the third pronouns. You will, you know, not feeling yourself. Awak tak jadi diri awak. Okay. And you will find the tendency to change relationship. Kejap-kejap dengan orang ni. Tak lama, lepas tu dengan orang ni. Lepas tu dengan orang ni. Because maybe the underlying reason is because the fear of attachment, the fear of loss again. Because when we get closer to someone, we get attached to the person, we invest emotion, we invest our feelings and everything towards this person. But at the end of the day, this person might just leave us in whatever ways. Separation ataupun death. And so that's why the fear comes in. Saya tak nak lah. When people start to reciprocate to you, the feelings, when people started to show genuine concern to you, when people started to reply you back, you will distance yourself. Okay, and then you will get to another relationship. Macam tu lah. So this is in terms of behavior symptom. And lastly, anger and overreacting. Okay, what I share is just some of the symptoms. Okay, you can read further on this topic. But today I think it's more towards the sharing session and also the personalized experience that you guys will get throughout the sharing session. Okay. Saya tengok jap dekat chat. Apa khabar chat kita? Dr. Atia, I lost myself when I got sick, and although I don't think about it all the time, when those memories surface, there's quiet sense of grief. I miss my old self, and it's hard to fully let go of. Thank you, Dr. Atia, for your sharing. This is a good example. A good example of the sense of loss, but it's not about others. It's about ourselves, our identity. That's why sometimes when I have cases, students or my clients diagnosed with certain diagnoses, right? They have to take time to process that, I have this diagnosis, and what I can do before might be affected now due to my condition. Due to my condition, certain functions in my life has been affected. So is it okay for you to grieve? Yes. Because again, like Dr. Atia sharing, it's not about losing anyone else. It's about the loss of identity, the sense of self, the sense of how you used to be before. If, before this certain scenario happened in your life, you could be the most bubbliest person in the room or the most bravest person in the room. But after the certain incident occurs in our life, that person changed. That character changed. So, is it okay to grieve over it? Yes. Is it okay to miss the old version of you? It's okay. Right? How to move forward with it? Oh, yeah. All right. Because every journey, every grief journey is very personal to individual. Now, I can give you a lot of tips. I can share with you information and so more. You can just Google or you can ask ChatGPT. Almost the same. They will give the similar answer. But the experience is personal actually. Walaupun it's almost similar cases. Like if I have two person in front of me right now, maybe, okay? Have two person in front of me sharing the same or similar situation that they lost someone in their life. They lost their mother or they lost their father. Two person with similar situation. But the journey that they go through is pretty much personalized to their own uniqueness. Because person A might have support system, person B might not have that much. Person A might have this other supporting elements. Person B might not. So the journey are different. That's number one. Number two is about how intense your feelings are. Let's say I'm not promoting a relationship before marriage. No, but most often my clients are students, right? Uh, they will like, okay, I lost this one person, okay, I separated with this person, but my relationship just 3 months. But I feel so affected by it. Just 3 months. It doesn't make sense. Other people have relationship like 2 years, 3 years. If they broke up, and it's logic. For me, it's logic for them who already established relationship for 3 to 5 years, maybe, to feel grief over the separation. But me, my relationship is just 3 months old. But why is it affecting me so much? So the answer is how intense and how much invested you are in that relationship. So how invested you are with this person, how invested you are with that thing. Like for example, how invested you are in your job. Like Dr. Suhaimi just now mentioned about the memories moving from PJ to Gombak. So how invested you are towards your previous working place. All of these carries variables on how we respond to our grief. So now before I go to the chat box, let me continue. Now we move on to the type of grief. Sebenarnya grief ni ada banyak. Dia bukan ada satu je. Dia ada banyak. Okay. And the first one, we talk about normal grief. Normal, biasa je. How normal is normal? Normal is common reaction, behavior and the feeling to loss. Normal. You hear the news, someone passed away, or the long distance friends, maybe something happened to them. So you grieve, but at the normal stage. You feel sad, macam tadilah symptom of grief tadi tu sama. You feel sad, you feel lonely, you feel like you miss this person. So these are normal. Okay, but we want to talk about a more interesting part of grief. Okay, yang ini jarang orang sebut, tapi dia berlaku. Right? We call it as anticipatory grief. We anticipate that we're going to lose this person. Okay. For example, we are attending to someone who has terminal illness. Dah tak ada cure dah. And then what doctor said, okay, this is the final stage. What we can do is just, ease the pain, but we cannot cure anymore. Just waiting for the time, okay. So the period of waiting for that, that incident or that situation happen, the period of waiting tu sebenarnya dalam proses anticipatory grief. You are actually grief over the anticipate, berbelit lidah saya. Because you anticipate this. I anticipate that I'm going to lose this person. So sometimes people think that why I feel like this? Pernah tak kita jaga orang yang sakit? We're not wishing for them to pass away, no. But we feel the loss. Okay. And if someone take care of like a person with Alzheimer, dementia, physically they are there, but cognitively they're not there. They're no longer the same persons that you've been dealing with previously. So ini adalah the loss yang not many people talk about. I have situation whereby Ada person ni datang dekat saya, dia menjaga parents yang sakit. Jadi dia question, is it wrong for me to feel sad? Is it wrong for me to feel like I lost my mom, even though that my mom is still there? But my mom is just lying on the bed. She cannot do anything. She's not my mom. Physically my mom. What is this? What is this feeling? So that feeling, inilah nama dia. And then the loss is not actually the physical loss yet. Again, kita bukan mendoakan dia. So physically, yes, the person is still alive, still there. But the gist of making that person is the person that we know, the character, the personality, cara dia, semua tu dah tak ada. Semua tu dah lost dah. So you need to understand that you have to grieve over. Itu perlu untuk kita proses. This is the grief. Even though that my mom is still there, but I do have kehibaan ini ada. Dan resah kerinduan itu, like for example, if you take care of someone who with terminal illness, they cannot do much, kan? They cannot do much. You pun tak boleh buat banyak untuk ubah keadaan dia. Jadi you rindu dia yang dulu. Every single day, you have this hope that, what if miracle happen? Miracle happen just for once. Just for once. God, please let me have this miracle. So, tapi setiap hari, saban hari benda itu tidak berlaku. That is another loss that you experience every single day. Tanpa kita sedar sebenarnya. Okay. Yang kedua, yang seterusnya, ketiga Okay. Acute. Acute. Nama pun acute. So it begins immediately after the death of the loved one and includes the separation response and response to stress. This is immediately after the incident. So what happened? This individual who experienced loss, they will feel confused. Macam tadi assignment tadi ingat kan? Okay. Confused, uncertain about their identity or social role. This is something similar. Dalam culture kita, biasa kita nampak. For someone who hold the strongest space in the room, dialah yang paling kuat dalam family, kan? Menjadi tempat bergantung oleh ahli keluarga yang lain. So when they deal with the loss, sometimes they are not sure about themselves anymore. And also, what is their social role? And that might affect how they navigate their life later. There's the shock, terkejut sangat. Benda tu berlaku tanpa ada sign, tanpa ada petanda, it just happen. So, it will rob your identity, it will rob your functionality in life until you become stable. Dalam proses acute tu, because crisis just happen. Dia berbeza dengan this one. This one, you anticipate the loss. You can calculate. Okay. If I disclose my personal experience as well, I can calculate. I mean, like, I used to work in Gombak. My family is in Johor. So when I moved to KL, almost every time I will remind myself that if anything were to happen to my family members, if I sempat, I sempat. I tak sempat, I tak sempat. So I kind of like build up that understanding towards myself that I cannot control things. Okay. So in a way, boleh kata juga anticipatory, because I anticipate something. If something happen, if I sempat balik, I sempat. Alright, that is anticipatory. But for acute grief, you have no idea it happened. Pagi tadi baru jumpa, tengah hari dah tak ada. So that amount of shock that you experience will make you feel like at loss. Oh no. What if you are, again, someone yang ahli keluarga you tu rely on you. So, dalam jiwa tu, very unstable. Inside of you, very unstable, but outside you have to show that you are okay. Outside, you have to show that, okay, I can manage this. Because most of the people rely on me. So, on the outside, this is how I will show myself. But inside, only God knows. Biasa benda-benda macam ni biasa jadi. Okay, now before I proceed to the next type, okay, I singgah baca dekat comment box ni. That's one of the reasons why I avoided having too close of a relationship with another person outside of my family. I'm afraid of being hurt or betrayed, but at the same time, I'm afraid of being self-destructive due to over-attachment to that person. Right, Amirul Salihin. So, from Amirul sharing, kita faham dekat sini, there's always a reason behind any type of avoidance. Sama ada kita nak acknowledge ataupun tidak. Because the fear is there. The fear, if let's say I attach to this person and then what if they just move on with their life? What if they're no longer with me? So that fear need to be addressed. Because if you're not validating that fear, it will disturb the way you see relationship, the way you see how to socialize with others. And as a human being, we are a social creature. Kita ni manusia yang bersosial, right? So, if this fear has affecting your way of socializing with others, it's about time to address this. Okay, jangan biarkan di bawah kapet lagi dah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our fear. No worries. From Siti Sarah, my first husband meninggal 7 tahun lepas. I lost myself. Saya buat macam-macam untuk isi that kekosongan dalam hati. Still hurt sampai sekarang. Even though I'm married again, saya rasa I need to keep this grief selama-lamanya untuk balasan semua salah silap saya pada Allah. Okay. Thank you, Siti Farah. Alright. First of all, I'm sorry. Takziah atas kehilangan suami itu walaupun dah 7 tahun lepas. And now that you already remarried. Okay. What you feel, okay, I'm validating what you're feeling. Perasaan sakit tu ada walaupun sometimes mungkin ada rasa macam should I feel this because I already have my new partner? Kan? Should I feel this? Kadang-kadang rasa macam kita betray partner yang sekarang pula because kita perasaan ini adalah terhadap previous husband, right? And then you mentioned that saya rasa I need to keep this gift selama-lamanya untuk balasan semua salah silap saya pada Allah. So this is also one of the personal reactions. Sebab tu I kata tadi, grief ni is all about personal journey. Okay? Dalam cerita Farah pula, grief, you hold on to that grief because you believe that this is the only way saya tebus kesilapan saya. If I let it go, if I manage to process my grief, ibarat macam saya dah tak indahkan semua salah silap saya yang saya. Sama juga dalam connotation yang lain, I cannot be that happy because if I feel happy, it's not fair kepada orang yang telah meninggalkan saya. You put a condition dekat sini. For me, in order for me to feel at ease, I kena keep this. Jadi, Farah, hopefully, towards the end of the sharing, boleh sama-sama untuk let go. Not let go, but grief tu bukan satu hukuman. Kita let go of that concept. Grief as a punishment. Okay? Right. Daripada klik saya, Amira Hazwani, I can relate to the grief of losing the old self too. Bila dah jadi adult, things will not be the same anymore. Especially that part where we have less time with our parents. Sometimes rasa macam nak patah balik masa dan nak jadi anak kecil balik. Oh, comel. Ya, betul. Betul. We miss our old self. We miss the carefree us. We miss that, okay, kita buat, apa je. Orang lain jaga kita. We miss that. And it's okay. Meow meow. Oh, ada 4 meow. Okay. Some of us have become an expert at emotional masking just to fit in and feel belong. Exactly. Exhibiting the vulnerability will only invite heartless people to bully the weak without an inch of sympathy or empathy. Okay, meow meow. Whoever your name behind this meow meow meow, I do agree. We already become an expert in masking our emotion. Kadang-kadang tak perlu ajar pun dah tahu dah. Keluar bilik, bangun, keluar bilik. This is the face that I want to show to others. Tapi bila balik bilik dah malam, nak tidur, where you finally take off that mask, you feel drained, you feel tired, you feel almost self-destructive. Okay, and this cycle is very unhealthy, right? It's either the process apa yang kita ada, or we try as much as possible to at least have one or two individuals who are genuinely concerned about us. Okay. Alright. Sharing tadi tu sangat banyak, sangat-sangat saya hargai sebenarnya those sharing, because like I mentioned at the early part of my presentation, right? I'll take this opportunity to express, because in our culture, majority of Asian culture, we are not used to express and talk about grief. Kalau kenduri arwah aku usually lah kan. Okay, after dah pergi hantar, dah ke bumi dan sebagainya, balik and then what happened to the family members? We are busy preparing food. We are busy entertaining orang-orang yang datang dekat rumah kita tu. We are occupied by other things so that we don't think about the real issue that we just lost person in our life. Tapi kita dah sibuk dah kat dapur, kita dah sibuk ni, kita dah sibuk tu, right? And then bila tetamu datang, kita jumpa, kita nak bercakap, all of that take a lot of energy. It take a lot of effort. For those who feel like maybe dia tu berada dalam normal grief, like dia okay, resilient dia better, cara dia terima better. So this person boleh function as stable as possible. But for others, might not as equal to the person A. Tapi disebabkan kita berada dalam satu situasi yang sama, semua orang ada responsibility to react almost the same. Kan, kita perasan je kadang-kadang adik-beradik ada 5. Seorang 2 ni stable, 3 lagi tak stable. Tapi bila orang datang kat rumah kita, 5-5 kena tunjuk okey. 5-5 kena bercakap. Sebab setiap masa makcik datang, pakcik datang, semua datang. So 5-5 kena act accordingly. That's why we tend to mask our emotion. Semua orang balik, tak semua orang balik, tetamu baru balik, saudara ada lagi kat rumah. It's not that this culture is not okay, but as a person with this culture background, we need to understand. If you need the time off, break sekejap daripada keramaian itu, pergilah toilet ke, masuklah dalam bilik awak sekejap ke, take a time off, cool down, wind down, be with yourself again. At least 5 to 10 minutes enough just to compose yourself balik. Validate that I just lost someone in my life. I'm tired. It hurts. I need my time. I need my space. So, take a moment, go to your room, do deep breathing, validate your emotions, and get ready to go back again and meet your reality. Because if you force yourself to be there for the whole time, it will disturb your ability to process things better. Sebab awak terpaksa mask ni kan, penat ni, nak tunjuk kuat ni dekat semua orang ni. Penat. Okay? Alright. Next. Next. Okay. This is also another type of grief that rarely people speak about. It is disenfranchised grief. Maksudnya, it is a grief over any loss that is not validated or recognized. Apa-apa saja. Contoh yang saya bagi is stigmatized illness, for example, AIDS or HIV. When we want to grieve over this loss, we feel the stigma comes. Or also, we want to grieve. This is trigger warning. Okay? Maybe some of us here experience the loss of someone that they love due to suicide. In society, the acceptance is not there yet. It's there, but it's not there yet. Okay, so when we want to grieve over it, we might feel invalidated. Can I grieve over it? Can I grieve over this HIV illness? Can I grieve over the loss of my friend? Or another example that most commonly happen is miscarriage. Bayi dalam kandungan tu baru berapa minggu, right? Or even ovulated ovum, like not even formed yet, but you're positive. You test and it's positive pregnancy, and the next thing you know, it's no longer there. Right? And you think that it's not valid. It's just when you talk to people, people say, baru lagi, tak apa, nanti ada rezeki lain. And so with that feedbacks, it makes you feel invalidated. Like I cannot grieve over this. This is just a small matter. And orang lain, like maybe if let's say like they lost their child at the age of 5 years old, maybe that's valid. Other people's loss are much more greater than mine. So you feel invalidated. So any type of these not recognized kind of grief will make the person feel as if like I cannot grieve, I cannot show my sadness, I cannot express the loss that I experienced to the public because the society will not accept it. Or at least the community around me will not accept it. And then when you go around people talk about the loss that you had, no one reciprocated because people think it's a normal thing. Satu. Or it's a small thing. Kedua. Ketiga, it's a taboo thing for you to grieve over a certain situation. So what will happen to you? You will suffer. Rasa again, almost. This type of grief almost similar dengan Sister Amira tadi dengan Dr. Ati. The sense of loss diri tu. You lost the sense of self. Kalau you cakap dengan orang, I miss the old me. Miss the old me lah. I miss the one who is very brave, and sometimes maybe the response you get is not reciprocating what you experience because the listener give feedback based on their understanding. The listener give feedback based on their personal journey. Alah, you can get this, you can be better. Itu kan zaman kanak-kanak. Memanglah, sekarang dah besar, you have to own it lah. You adults, kan? Tapi, if we try to listen further, we try to listen with empathy, we should have a question at the back of our mind. What is the thing that makes this person miss her childhood so much? Kan, kalau kita nak tanya Sister Amira lah. Kind of thing. Any memories, any situation that makes you miss your childhood or miss being a child so much. Kau nak jawab ke? Nak jawab boleh jawab. Kalau tak nak jawab tak apa. Okay? Because okay. Okay, alright. Thank you, Mia. Okay. Hantar kat sini semua personal chat ke? Oh, semua, okay, tak apa. Thank you for that suggestion. I will change, yeah. So, um, if we are willing to extend further our question to people who experience loss, just because we want them to know that we are listening to them. We are listening to whatever stories they are trying to tell us, because the first layer always about the symptoms that they show us. People come with anger, people like, marah-marah, or people show like they cry so much, people like being agitated, kuat sangat awak punya radio ni, or any single things that might just, nick and pick them. But then when you try to talk to them, what are they angry about? What happened to them? Why they're feeling like this, maybe? So you might be surprised of the real understanding behind it. Okay? Apa lagi tadi dekat chat box? Tak apa. Okay, the last one is complicated grief. Nama pun complicated. So dia ada 4 stages, 4 type. Because it's complicated kan? Nama complicated jadi dia ada banyak. The first one is exaggerated grief. Under this complicated grief, dia ada subcategory which is exaggerated grief. Dia berlebih-lebihan. And intense reactions of grief that may include nightmares, delinquent behaviors, phobias, and thought of suicide. Okay, these some of the scenarios that might happen to us when we experience loss. Masuk mimpi. We do wish that kita mimpi orang itu. Tapi kalau dia jadi nightmares, dia lain. Dia jadi phobia. Macam tadi di dalam komen. The fears and phobias of having relationship kan. Kenal dengan orang, being attached dengan orang. That's phobias and also fears. Okay. And some can also translated into delinquent behavior. Kanak-kanak, anak-anak kecil, sekolah rendah, biasanya they do not know how to express. Okay, so they show tantrum. Tak pergi sekolah, bergaduh kat sekolah. Okay, some of them might react in that way. And also, in terms of gender, bukan nak gender bias, tapi there is a differences on how genders respond to certain triggers. Okay, so for men, they are more prone towards aggressive behavior when dealing with sadness, grief, and loss. They have higher tendency to go and to adapt smoking habits, vaping, any anger, aggressive behavior lah, self-destructive in that way. But for female, usually they will respond innately. The guilty, the regrets, they will like turn to themselves. So kalau lelaki, dia dekat luar, they exhibit the behavior. Women usually they will just an innate one ke dalam. Jadi self-criticism, self-blaming, guilty trip, every single thing yang disrupt dia punya inner self, dia akan. So by understanding how genders respond to triggers will help us better in understanding ourselves as well, and also understand others. Kalau lah kawan kita tu different gender, and then we see suddenly the behavior change after the passing of the loved ones. It may because of the loss, not 100% be because of that, but the loss might contribute to the change of behavior. Apatah lagi kalau the change of behavior right after the loss. Okay. Next, mass grief. Grief that occurs when the survivor is not aware of behaviors that interfere with normal functioning as a result of the loss. Macam tadi, we are so used to masking our feeling, our emotion. So we go to work as normal, we go to classes like normal, we try to be okay. But then, eventually, slowly, things are not getting better. We got stuck in emotion. We got stuck in the looping of that emotion. Malam-malam nangis, tapi besok pagi nampak macam biasa. Malam tahu, besok pagi macam biasa. So, it might also fall into mass grief. Okay? Because the behavior that we portray seems normal, seems acceptable by the society. Contoh lagi, you overwork yourself. You join lagi 2-3 society extra. You ask for overtime, for example. So, this behavior are accepted by the society. Orang akan nampak, ui, makin aktif lah dia. Oh, makin bagus lah dia buat kerja. From society point of view, this behavior is acceptable. But for you, it's a distraction. You don't want to think about the loss that you have. So, you occupy something. Okay? Terlepas yang ini. Alright. Okay. Chronic grief. It is from the normal grief reaction that does not subside and continue over very long period of time. Okay. Saya selalu dapat soalan bila saya bagi talk pasal grief and loss. Berapa lama patut kita grief ni? Berapa lama? Ada tak sesiapa yang boleh bagi saya jawapan? Agak-agak berapa lama je kita boleh grief ni? 3 bulan? 6 bulan? Berapa? 3 bulan cukup. Selama mana yang kita perlukan masa. No exact time limit. 6 bulan takkan habis. Okay. Lagi. We learn to live with it. Okay. Baik. Okay, bagus. Jawapan masing-masing. Saya boleh bagi ada A, boleh dapat A minus, boleh lah. Okay. Alright. So the answer is tak ada time. Tak ada time period pun. Because again, it's a personal journey. Tapi macam Dr. Suhaimi tadi bagi respon 3 bulan. So 3 bulan if we set ourselves. Okay. By 3 months, I give myself time, 3 months to navigate, to get support, to do whatever that I can to process this and understand this. After 3 months, let's start the journey with whatever that I've learned. Okay, pun boleh. Tapi untuk kata ada certain time frame, there's no time frame. Okay. And because sometimes we can be better, but suddenly dia datang balik. Perasaan tu datang balik. Kerinduan tu datang balik. Keresahan rindu tu datang balik. Right? So dia tak datang balik. However, if the normal grief reaction tadi tu prolong, it falls under this category, chronic grief. Tapi kalau chronic grief ni pula ditambah dengan faktor-faktor yang lain, dia boleh jadi macam itulah complicated. So bila complicated, when you see therapist, when you go to a counselor or therapist to talk about your grief, it's not about 1 + 1 = 2. Dia ada banyak underlying issues that we want to discover together and try to, tarik satu-satu. Macam awak masak Maggi mee, tarik satu-satu mie tu so that you could understand why you are behaving like this. Usually complicated grief ni, you take you longer, more than 3 months, 6 months. Even some people like years. 10 tahun, 20 tahun pun ada. Okay. So, when you talk with your counselor or therapist, the purpose of the session is to understand every single possibilities, every variables that contributes to who you are right now. That maybe your reaction right now is you don't want to attach to others. So this is the behavior that you notice. Because of that thing, you come and seek help from the counselor. The first primary complaints or primary issue that you share with your counselor is, I do not know how to be friends with others. Itu reason awak jumpa counselor. Selepas daripada tu, okay, we do history taking, kita tengok apa possibilities ni. So we found out maybe ada unattended grief. Years before, you lost someone, but you just brush it off. You do not know how to process it. So you continue your life as normal. And as time goes by, the loss, the grief has affecting the other functions in you. So that's why bila you datang, nak selesaikan tu satu-satu. Tengok satu-satu. Okay? And then another category of complicated grief is delayed grief. Dia lambat sikit. Normal grief reaction that are suppressed or postponed by the survivor consciously or unconsciously to avoid the pain of the loss. Dia lambat sikit. Saya antara orang yang delayed grief. Because when I lost my father, I went back to my hometown and then I helped my family members to arrange things and and I come back to work. And then later on, then I understand that, oh, something is not right. Okay, so I fall under the category of belief. Shows that walaupun you ada knowledge, the advantage of you having the knowledge is that you become aware of yourself, but you are not immune. You're not immune to all of these things. Because kita manusia dulu nombor satu. You human first. Okay, now let's move on to, kita dah habis cerita tentang all this grief. Okay, so in grief, we have 5 stages of grief. The first one, incident happened, the loss, we experience the loss. Sometimes people start with denial. Okay, walaupun we have these 5 stages of grief by Kubler-Ross, it's not linear, It's not linear. Dia tak semestinya lepas denial, go to anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. Not necessary like that. Sometimes you can start with denial, and then you start to bargain, and then you go to depression, and then you come to anger, and then you go acceptance. And then when you finally accept, suddenly you go back to anger. Because humans is organic. We grow. Everything might change in a second. Okay. So I briefly mentioned about this. We talk about denial. The first stage of the loss, you akan deny dulu. This is true. Betul lagi, you tak anticipate benda tu berlaku. It's not true. Why? Right? And then you, after the denial part, you want to accept the fact because people say that, okay, terima. Tapi you tak ready lagi nak terima. What happened? Anger comes in. Mulalah. You act in aggression, you become irritated, you even angry at God. Semua you marah. Because it's not fair. I supposed to have my mom until my I supposed to have this person in my life. Okay. So it's not fair. Then you become angry. After the phase of anger, based on these stages, right? After the phase of anger, you come to bargaining phase. You started to have questions in your mind. What if I do this? What if I become a better person? What if I treat this person better? What if malam tu saya tak keluar? Mungkin tak cantik. What if saya jadi anak yang baik? Mungkin Allah panjangkan umur saya. So, you bargain. And you start to look. Kalau lah, ada sekali lagi. So, you're bargaining with whatever that you have untuk that one chance. Okay? Then you realize that it will never gonna happen. Then you might fall into a depression when everything stays still, quiet. Nak gerak ke depan tak boleh, nak gerak ke belakang tak rasa nak bangun rasa tak okay. There's nothing. You feel? Okay. So this stage. And during this stage, when you finally go deep with your emotions, and then with the support, with the understanding, with the ability to letting go of some regrets that you have, the guilty that you have maybe. So you start to go to the phase of. But like I said, this is not a linear process. Dia boleh bercampur-campur. But based on this concept, begitulah kita kategorikan. Jadi nak sampai kepada acceptance tu banyak fasa dia. So the next time we talk to others, okay, sebelum kita nak suruh dia accept dulu tu, kita tanya-tanyalah khabar-khabar dia yang lain dulu yang nampak terus-terus untuk terima. Right? Okay. So the $1 million question. Moving on or moving forward? 1 million question. 1 million question. Tapi kalau siapa dapat jawapan ni, saya tak bagilah 1 million tu. Moving on or moving forward? Both on and forward. Okay. Lagi. Moving forward. 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 Okay. Both. Lagi. Mana yang pilih? Both. Both. Oh, tak ada yang moving on saja. Dia either both atau moving forward. Both. Alright. Kalau saya, if my clients come and we do this grief therapy, I will focus more on moving forward. Okay? Moving on, yes, but I will focus more on moving forward. Because when we moving forward, kita tahu the direction is ke depan. Right? We have the direction. And we know that we have to move. So we move with whatever things that we have. The memories, the pain, well, it's like, walking a long distance, but inside your shoes, you have pebbles. Ada batu kerikil kecil-kecil dalam kasut you, tapi you terpaksa nak habis ke perjalanan. That's almost similar. Saya nak bagi, panggil apa tu baik, gambaran lah, gambaran. So, you have to finish, you have to complete your journey until you arrive at your destination. You're not there yet. Other people already have their own time, but you're not there yet. So you have to walk. Tapi dalam perjalanan tu ada satu batu masuk. Dan lagi ada satu batu lagi masuk. Lama-lama ada banyak batu. So you have to move forward even with all those pebbles inside. But how to move forward with that is the skills yang you nak kena belajar. Okay. Again, macam awal-awal tadi saya kata, no one tell us on how to live without the person that we love. You only know how to live when they are around us. Bila tak ada, kita tak tahu. Okay? So, how to move forward if we do not know? How to move forward or how to move on if we do not know, number one, how to express and understand our feelings sendiri. Yang kedua, what change? Apa perubahan yang berlaku pada diri kita ni? Apa yang berbeza dalam diri saya ni? Right? And then, when we want to move forward, are we able to deal with all the memories that will come to you like floods? Time dia okay, dia okay. Time dia datang tu macam tsunami. Memory tu datang. Foof! Kan? How to deal with that? So, all of that are skills, benda-benda macam tu dalam grief therapy kita ajar. Okay. So, moving forward, saya pun nak move forward dengan slide saya. Okay. Alright. these are some of the starter pack lah. Starter pack on how to move forward. Number one, malam ni is a platform. Some of you, alhamdulillah, you express. Okay. And I do believe that others, you take your time and reflect. Okay. Di belakang skrin ini, ramai orang yang tengah merefleksi diri. So the first step is to have the courage to talk to someone that you can trust and brings comfort to you. Two things. You boleh percaya dia dan dia bagi comfort dekat you. Kalau you boleh percaya dia tapi dia tak bagi comfort dekat you, cari orang lain. At the beginning phase. Because to open your mouth and eventually share, it takes a lot of courage. Because you want to be vulnerable to this person. So you must make sure that not only you can trust them, but they can also give comfort to you. So hopefully all my audience here have someone that they can trust and also bring comfort. If not, then I pray for you guys to have one. Okay? Seterusnya, because macam saya kata tadi, tiga topik yang saya suka cakap is grief and loss, trauma and also creative arts. Walaupun saya bukannya pakar dalam arts, but expressing your emotion through arts and creative activities will also help you to unpack your emotions. Because when we talk about loss, it's a very heavy emotion. When you want to unpack it, some of the residue might, left subconsciously tau. Benda tu tak, you dah suppress that day, you tak nak keluar. Jadi, when we express through arts and creative activities, when we go to your subconscious mind, usually it will trigger it to go out. So, bila perasaan yang dah suppressed to come forward, it's much easier to process. If not, dia dekat bawah. Kita nak kasi keluar. Okay? Next is to journal your thoughts and unexpressed words. Kalau ada orang yang tak berapa favor in terms of arts, painting and be messy, you can journal your thoughts and unexpressed words. So some of the techniques juga yang saya guna is to write the final letters. If we have regrets, if we have guilty to the persons that already passed away, one of the techniques is to write a letter. Express the things that you haven't expressed before, and then habis. And then you close that letter by letting go of the regrets that you have, by understanding that you have done your best. This is the thing that Allah allows you to do towards the whole journey with that person. Allah hanya benarkan setakat itu. When you've done your best, you put a full stop. What you want to do with the letter, up to you. Tapi kalau nak buat benda tu, I always make sure my client has someone that can give comfort to them dekat sebelah diorang. Jangan buat seorang-seorang. Nanti you break down seorang-seorang. So kalau you nak buat benda tu, pastikan ada orang yang you trust and can give comfort tadi lah. Kriteria nombor 1 tu. Okay? And then, lastly, I think, surround yourself with people who provide empathy. Kalau you rasa, kalau seorang, tak kuat. Tak ada 2-3 orang, mungkin kita akan lebih kuat. So, surround yourself with these people. At least, even though you duduk diam sebelah dia, you dapat rasa yang dia pun masih support you. And sometimes, we cannot express through words. We just sit silently. But kalau kita duduk diam bersama dengan orang yang sangat ada empathy dengan kita dan support kita, they will understand. They will understand our silence. Okay. Alright. Itu last slide saya. Saya go kepada chat. I wrote poems when I lost my grandmother a few years ago. It's a nice outlet for grief, but sometimes I wish I could just talk about it outside of poems. Grief is such a downer topic to talk about with others, though so hard to start conversation about it. Betul. No one want to talk about it. Jadi kalau macam bila bercakap tu, okay, kalau cakap tajuk grief je, mesti it will comes with a lot of heavy emotions. So that's why I want you guys to go with the journey with me. Tadi kita masuk, kita selam sikit, kita go down, be with our emotion, stay with that awkward feeling, stay with that uncomfortable feelings. You have that memories, you express it, you be with it, stay. Now kita slowly resurface. Kita resurface. Kita let it go because kita nak berjalan ke hadapan. You want to move forward, not moving on. You want to move forward. Okay? So whatever responsibilities that we have at this moment yang mungkin terganggu due to the unattended grief. Now please do give yourself a space to recognize this. Validate it. How to deal with it, how to live after this. If you feel lonely, apa support you? Okay. And then if you feel stuck, you nak bercakap dengan siapa? Kalau tak boleh bercakap dengan orang macam tadi, guna poem. But yeah, I do hope that we are all surrounded by people who can support us emotionally without any condition lah. Kalau kita sedih, sedih lah. Okay. And then lastly, maybe before I tak tahu saya tak pasti ada Q&A ke tidak. Why? And please don't compare your grief with others. Don't compare, right? Because it's a personal journey, number one. Number two, if you compare your grief with others, you use your brain, you use your mind. Bila kita nak compare, we make comparison, we use our cognitive ability to think, right? But the issue now, you're not broken, your brain is not broken, but your heart is. Okay? So listen to your heart. Stop comparing. Listen to your heart. If you need someone to talk to, reach out for help. Reach out to talk with professional. Get therapists if you want to, right? And embrace the pain so that we can resurface after that turmoil. Okay, so with that note, saya habiskan dulu saya punya presentation. Thank you so much for listening. And kalau ada masa lagi, boleh ke I pass it back to the moderator if let's say you want to open for Q&A or anything.
Hi. Sorry. Thank you, Sister Masturah, for sharing the beneficial insights. Kita ada Q&A. We will now open the floor for our quick Q&A session. So if you have any questions or would like to share your thoughts, please use the chat. Kalau nak cakap pun boleh, kita akan unmute lah. Okay, kita ada soalan pertama. Saya bacakan. Can the anticipatory grief lead to feeling numb? Is it healthy?
Okay. Good question, by the way. Lead to feeling numb. Why people choose to feel numb? Because they think that numbness could help them to function better. Saya tak nak ada rasa apa-apa supaya saya boleh buat. But it's a choice. So if you choose to feel numb so that you can work better, trust me, it will come back to you like a boomerang. Perasaan tu. So anticipatory grief, yes, it could lead to feeling numb because you want to function. Nak teruskan kehidupan tu. Jadi, it's easier for us not to feel anything. Okay? The next question, is it healthy? It's not healthy. Anything that is unprocessed, tak healthy. Okay? Sebab dia akan datang balik. Dia akan datang balik not only in terms of emotion, dia akan datang balik in terms of behavioral change, cognitive change, and it also can come back in terms of messing up with your organization, macam tu. Okay. Hope I answered that question.
Does anyone have more question to Sister Masturah?
Ada soalan. Ada sharing dan soalan. Betul?
Nak saya bacakan?
Boleh? Nak dengar suara Lid?
Dengar ke?
Dengar.
I'm a survivor of suicide loss. I am still grieving of losing my loved one to suicide. My question is, how can I be kind and accept her loss as suicide loss? It's really complex to understand.
Okay. First, Tazia, I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. Thank you for your sharing. So you mentioned that you are still grieving of losing your loved one. So soalan dia, how can I be kind and accept her loss as suicide loss is truly complex? Number one, you already know it's complex. Okay. So don't rush into acceptance. But your first sentence is, how can you be kind? Not be kind to the fact that you lost this person due to suicide. To be kind enough to accept that whatever happened is the decision that we made, maybe with a wise mind or not. So, as a person who experiencing the loss, you actually think that, okay, whatever happened, I must let her go because that is the destiny of how the situation is. We don't look at the action taken. Sebab kalau kita pergi kepada the reason why the passing of this person, we become angry. There must be other choices. Itu mungkin fikir. But at that time, in her situation, we never know what went inside her mind. Okay? So, my way of saying this, for you to be kind, is to appreciate her memory with you and to cherish whatever kindness that you share with her and not focusing on the way that she lost herself. That will be better. Okay?
Okay. Next question. As a result, I became skeptical about people in our surrounding. Although we were taught to be husnuzon to people, but the previous experience was really haunted us. How to get rid this feeling?
Dia ada relation dengan statement kat atas kan? During my childhood and teenage time, we were surrounded by people with hatred. We were unsure why we were hated so much. People pressured us until we decided to leave our beloved company for good. Alright, as a result, I became skeptical about people in our surrounding. Okay. First of all, the behavior that you have now, walaupun kita husnuzon, tapi datang suuzon tu kan, right? The behavior that you have now is the result from your reactions towards the people you used to mingle around before. Okay, jadi one way to get rid, I will not say get rid lah because lama-lama still akan ada sedikit tu. But how to manage this feeling is that by looking at the person in front of you at the present time as the person, him or herself. Right? Let's say the person at your hometown, I bagi dia A dan B kata. Okay. And then the person at your present life right now is C and D. C and D is not related to A and B. So we teach ourselves to look at the person, to look at the individual as who they are. Right? Macam I tengok Lily. Kalau I tengok fizikal dia pakai spek dia ni kan, mungkin ada kaitan lah dengan orang yang pernah sakitkan hati. Right? But I refuse to contoh Lily. Contoh. Right? But I teach myself to look at Lilith as Lilith Nur Aura. This is Lilith Nur Aura. She is a person with her own character, with her own personality. We give entitlement to them. We give them the right as a person. We teach ourselves not to look at them and pass through them, mengingatkan kita kepada orang yang sakit hati, walaupun similarities. Now, the concept of here and now, meaning to say, whatever or whoever in your present life at this moment, itu yang kita take. This require cognitive training. You kena train. Kalau tak, it's easy for us untuk ada rasa macam tu lah. But then again, yang sakit yang sebelum tu, kalau belum lepaskan dulu. Sebab saya rasa statement yang sebelum tu, because you're not sure why you've been dated so much. So that give you a big question mark. So live with big question marks in our life will make us always wondering, kenapa dan kenapa. So itu pun kena, if you cannot get the answer, try as much as possible to okay lah, itu adalah decision dia, because we want to stay in our benda yang kita boleh kawal kan. So that person have decided to express hatred that much to our family. We do not know why, but that is their decision, it's their behavior. But I want a peaceful life. Sekarang ni, you tengok orang yang ada depan mata. So, that's how to manage lah, a tips to manage, not to get it. Tak ada jawapan untuk get it, manage je ada. Okay. Next maybe.
Okay, yang ni saya macam nak so bargaining bargaining. Tadi pada saya tengok juga dekat stage after loss kan. Saya pun tak faham juga. So soalan dia, what does bargaining means when it comes to dealing with grief? Is it possible to not experience this stage? Saya pun macam terfikir jugalah tadi. Same question.
Kita bargain tu kita tawar menawar. Okay. Example yang saya bagi tu adalah what if. You ada what if, kalau lah. So, you punya tawar menawar tu adalah what if saya tak keluar tadi, mesti tak accident, mesti kawan saya tak. So, you bargain. Okay. And also, you bargain in the form of saya nak miracle. Kalau saya buat baik macam ni, miracle. Saya akan dapat balik. At least dalam mimpi saya tak. So, itu yang you bargain. But is it possible not to experience this? Yes. Not necessary. Sebab dia tak linear. Ada je, you can.
Faham, dia macam questioning lah. Questioning things happen. Kalau jenis macam mana.
Betul. The question, then you ada benda yang you nak offer. You nak, okay, saya akan jadi anak yang paling baik. Mesti Allah makbulkan doa saya. Saya nak solat, saya nak ni, Allah makbulkan doa saya. Tapi doa yang you nak tu adalah menghidupkan orang yang dah tak ada. But you are bargaining in the sense yang baik, buat macam ni. That's one of the form of bargaining. Kedua is the what if question.
Alright. Next, kita ada ke orang yang grief atau depressed tapi still can function well?
Ada. Panggil dia high functioning person. Dia boleh function sebab tu dekat kelas nampak macam biasa, dekat tempat kerja nampak macam biasa. Tapi dia yang tahu how broken they are, how tired, how draining they are. Dia orang je yang tahu. Lama-lama badan kita ni dah tak tahan dah. So there is incident where you can be very high functioning tapi you become forgetful. You mungkin functioning in terms of your work tapi you banyak sakit. Badan kita akan certainly show reaction.
Next question. What's the healthiest way to deal with our sadness if we don't have that support system?
Okay, right. Number one, acknowledgement. We don't need other people's acknowledgement, validation that much. It's come from us. Okay? And try to understand and ask. Nak understand, kena tanya diri dulu. What changed? Why am I like this? You must be aware of the changes. Your mental, your physical, your emotion. You must be aware. And then you start to ask me, what changed? Okay? And then, oh, yeah, I lost this, or I miss being confident. So you validate. You acknowledge first at your own face too, you acknowledge. Then baru you keluar. If let's say you refer support system to friends, kalau kata takut, then go and see your therapist. If you in Gombak campus, jumpa kakak-kakak abang-abang yang sangat-sangat hebat di CCSC tu, jumpa. If you're in Pagu, you have me. If you're in Kuantan, you have also kakak-kakak yang baik, bagus di sana. Right? So, if you cannot talk to someone close to you, find professional.
Okay, next. During my IIUM matriculation student days, daripada 1994 sampai 1995, I love to listen Aku Dia dan lagu Adila Radio Selangor. I could relate my problem that I face are actually common to many people. Then I ask myself what happened to people in our surrounding. Why so bad? It's a story.
It's a sharing. Okay. Dan
Okay,
dia lagu.
next.
Nanti saya cari tu lagu tu. Ada lagi tak? Okay, last question.
Next. In dealing with loss, I'll always remind myself of nothing is permanent. Everything and everyone belongs to Allah. Sooner or later, everything and everyone will be taken back to Allah. Appreciate what and who you have in your daily life. Because even though you have lost everything and everyone, you cannot lose yourself. Rated you as his servant, not a master. Is meow 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 talks. So
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank you
that's
so
only the
much for that
Mm-mm.
sharing self-reminder. Yeah, again, that's why in Surah Baqarah, every single soul walking on this earth will be tested by the loss of life, wealth, even semua akan. That's the concept that we need to understand and hold on to, so that we become hopeful, hopeful in life. Because life is like this. People comes and go. People have their own timeline. Whenever the time is up, they will go back and meet our Creator. That is the reality that we have to really have in our life. But that reality must not make us pessimists in life. Because why? Because we understand that everything is just temporary. So we strive to give our best actually. Itu dia, understanding itu not to make us pessimists. Makes us to strive better every single day and give our best to the people around us every single day. So that when their time is up, there's no regret. Oh, Mama, dah.
Okay, I think that's all for the Q&A session. But before we end our session, I just want to remind to all of the participants, you can fill up the link for attendance and also evaluation form for the star points. And as we come to end of session, let us close with recitation of Tasbih Kafara and Surah Al-Nas. On behalf of the organizing team, we want to thank to Sister Masturah for sharing her wisdom with us, and also thank to all of the participants for